Today's cardinal lesson is about life insurance and pre-existing conditions, and specifically we're showing prices here for somebody age 65. We here at Cardinal talk to a lot of people for the first time when they're turning 65 and approaching and going on Medicare, and we're in the Medicare supplement business, and that's a great way to meet new clients if you're in our business. And so the topic today is really about the pre-existing conditions and life insurance and whether you can even get the stuff. I've had more clients where I'm talking to them about their health insurance, life insurance, their finances, their IRA, and then I suggest, or we open up a discussion about life insurance, and I have more clients that, oh, I can't get life insurance. I can't. Okay, that's interesting. Why not? Well, I've got such and such and such and such. Or I had a guy out here 3 years ago, and he said, no, I don't qualify. And so I want to clear up something. If you've got pre-existing conditions, and you've got even some serious health conditions, and you're at that retirement age, and you're just thinking, my age and the health conditions, I can't qualify, I'm just going to go against that today, and I'm going to tell you that we've got something for you. So let's jump into this a little bit. I just put a couple of examples up here. And the first category that we're going to talk about is really, so if we have somebody that we're talking about right now in the last couple years, you've had a stroke or maybe a TIA, you've had heart bypass surgery or heart catheterization, you've had cancer, you have cancer, you have COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, MS, dementia. I mean, these are all things that people are thinking, like, no way a life insurance company is going to take me. And we have a product, even from several companies, I've just put you the prices from one of them, where they're going to write $25,000 worth of life insurance, which is really kind of the minimum that I think you ought to have to go through retirement. $25,000 at age 65 for a man, $248 a month, and for a woman, $182.29 a month. $25,000 worth of life insurance, and people say, well, what's the catch if I've got all of this kind of stuff? Well, the catch is this thing does not pay its full benefit for 24 months, actually. It's not the 25th month. You make it through the first 2 years with the policy in force, it pays the full $25,000. If you die in the first 2 years, it's going to pay something short of that. We can give you the particulars on that if you give us a call. Point being is if you can qualify for nothing else, you can get this at these prices. If you want more than this, we can stack policies because we have this type of thing from more than one company. We also, if you've got some of these diseases or one of these diseases, and then you've got a little bit of time, you know, like I've put up here 2 to 3 years, so if something like this was in the past and you've stabilized, you've recovered with many of these conditions that you think you're up here, you can get a policy like this, which is called Easy Issue. And one big difference is this pays its full immediate benefit. So it's just like any other life insurance policy you've had. We get it issued. It starts right away. If you died suddenly, the full benefit is paid to your beneficiaries right from the beginning. Now, so what does it take to qualify? We just simply need to ask you some questions, and they're probably going to run a prescription drug profile on you. Many of these companies, we can get these things automatically issued. Some of them need to call you, and they're just going to ask you the same questions that we did. We have this from several companies, but the point of it, somebody that had a TIA, and it was a minor TIA, they only had one, and it was more than so many months ago or a year ago, there's a chance that we can get them with one of our companies approved over here on something like this. Okay, that's just the point I want to make, is that we don't necessarily put everybody that's ever had anything serious immediately here. We're going to put them down here. The other benefit is this price is not quite half as much, but it's it's approaching that. I mean, 25,000 for a 65-year-old person, still with some conditions, 134.58 a month, and a lady 109.58 a month. So, and you can buy more than 25,000 of this if you want. Many of these companies go up to 50,000. And furthermore, is if you're really wanting to get more than 25,000, we can just stack policies. And we've done that for several clients that don't want to go through this third alternative. Now, the bottom alternative, where we talked about in the, which you could say is the best, you got to go through the most to get through this, is a fully underwritten life insurance. And that means you're going to get a complimentary paramedical exam, which you're either going to go into their office and take the physical, or they're going to come see you. And this thing, so they're going to go through that, and if you've got anything ailing you, they're going to find out about it, okay? And so that is a stop sign for a number of people. They just don't want to go through that. And when that's the case, we just put them up here. And we get the policy issued just over the telephone very easily. This program is really, I'm making a big deal out of nothing. It's really no big deal to go through the paramedical exam. And you can even have some of this stuff, but if it's well controlled, I mean, I went through this not too long ago on some pretty large policies, and I've got high blood pressure, but it's well controlled. I've got high cholesterol, it's real controlled. I take some other medicines for anxiety and just some things that you would think would send a life insurance underwriter crazy. I'm a little overweight. I got through standard issue. I went through the paramedical exam. So this is not the big deal that people make it, but nonetheless, it creates a little bit of a hassle. You can see the life insurance is much less expensive, and these are the select or preferred rates. Even if they do ding you on something, or they calculate that you're a little higher risk, they can rate these policies. Now, I've just started with 25,000. We have more and more clients when this is presented to them that are buying $100,000 worth of life insurance, possibly on each of them. And I'm going to tell you why they're doing that, is that life insurance creates an immediate payment to your family members or your named beneficiaries. It's not going to mess with the lawyers. It doesn't mess with probate. It doesn't take months and years. It doesn't happen in the public eye. It's just whoever the named beneficiary is, the money is created very quickly. Usually just weeks, sometimes a month, 5 or 6 weeks. Been in this my whole life, delivered a lot of checks to beneficiaries. People all of a sudden realize that having a life insurance policy in effect of some substance allows them to sit down with a pen and name beneficiaries. Some people like to give a substantial contribution to their church, and maybe they don't want everybody at their estate knowing it. You can just name your church as the beneficiary. People want to leave their nieces and nephews, or perhaps their grandchildren, or they want to set up a college fund. I mean, this money just goes directly. It's quick, doesn't go through probate, and it leaves a wonderful legacy, no income taxes. I mean, it's just it. That's why, most wealthy people that I've worked with throughout my career, they own lots of life insurance. They've got the high-powered, high-buck financial advisors and lawyers and attorneys and CPAs and people advising them. They own a lot of life insurance. This stuff makes sense. It creates estate liquidity. I can't talk enough about it. I mean, we have more and more people buying larger life insurance where they've relied on term insurance, they relied on their insurance at work, and it's been there for them. They made it through that, and they've always worked under the assumption, I don't really need life insurance in retirement because I'm retired now. I've got assets. Is that she'll be able to live just fine off of the money we have and the IRA that's left and her Social Security check. I'm just telling you, this is very nice to have in place, even if you pass away at 90. So I'm Hans Scheil, and I thank you for listening.